to 65, a program where we explore captivating stories, challenges about older people who are 65 years and above. My name is Dr. Stella Uluru Timi Ayamaradong. I'm your host. Today we have a very interesting, very exciting program. We're going to be talking to someone who has traversed the worlds of having been to the pinnacle of his career. He's been an administrator, a manager, a technocrat. One of those people who worked hard for Bendel State, for Midwest State, for Edo State, and worked at the national level also. We're talking of no less a person than Sir Jai Ojeikere, the retired permanent secretary, surveyor, an MFR, and now Ojeikere of Okokumi in Owa East Local Government. You're welcome to Waterford. Thank you. We'll start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about you, your oracle.
My beginning started from Massive Street Hospital, Lagos, where I was born. My father was a policeman, that I said, and we were in the police barracks. I was a barrack boy. We moved from one barrack to the other. I was permanent secretary for 4 years. I retired in 1978.
Wow.
As a permanent secretary. I was only 47 years old.
Why did you retire so early?
Because I wanted to take, after a lot of wahala, I settled down. I think I'm glad I retired, because the things I was able to do, for old age, what you need is a roof over your head, a good family, and a roof where you come from, which Sonny Okpa said, if you remember him, a roof over where you come from is the one he called a roof in Okukume. Was where to me you say my permanent home address, because when you make Pakan, that's where they are going to carry you. So I had all those things. Now I really don't have anything to worry about. I had a good sporting life. I played tennis from the Atlantic, from the University College Ibadan. And when we got here, I played a lot of tennis. And I organized a lot of competitions. I was able to organize tournaments, international tournaments. I believe that the grace of God is super. It's the activities I had when I was younger. It's supportive. And by the grace of God, I'm the oldest man in my community. And that makes me the the British call it ordinary. And I don't get promoted to it. You get to it and nobody can argue the case with you. Activity, I'm still active. at the club level, at the professional level, at the community level. I, well, unfortunately, I lost my wife, but I'm managing thanks to my children who are keeping me on, and I don't feel it. They don't make me feel it that much.
Thank God you are not the majority.
Yes. Amen. You don't put Amen there, yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Yes. When you were growing up, what was your perception, perspectives of the elderly? How were the elderly people perceived when you were growing up?
We practice gerontocracy. For the community, for the family, the owner of the family, the head of the family is the eldest son.
Yes.
For the community, like I am now, the oldest man there, I don't know what they are doing about women. They never talk about women. The oldest man there is the Ojeikere.
In my place, they do both the oldest man and the oldest woman. Malco Sohi and then a Malco Sarah, and they will give certain respect. The reason I'm asking that is today we find out that people, yours is a unique case because you retired voluntarily as early as 47. Some people do that now when they um, have something to aspire to or they want to do. I'm sure like you did. Which brings me to the question of planning. You planned, you put forward to something, and then you went ahead. But most of our pensioners, most of our retirees today, we find out that they're not as comfortable as you are. What would you say would be the reason why retirees are part of that group of people that some people tend to be for?
I seem to think that professionals tend to be better off when they retire if they're able to keep on to what they were doing. They have means of keeping up. Engineers retire and join a group of engineering firms. Doctors retire and are set up on their own. Accountants retire, they set up practices. It's the clerical officers who retire and they have some problems. Unless of
people.
Unless of course they are home and they can set up farming. Even engineers, doctors, and so on, their own farmers at home now. You have to be careful how you keep your land. The land is very safe from your father. Somebody comes down behind your back and sells it to another person. I think government should, the government, why government? Institutions, apart from government, we cannot leave everything to government. I think the private sector should set up organizations that can
Cater to the welfare.
yes, that can raise up the interest. There is this man who just finished his tenure, Ojeikere, had things like that going, but mostly for civil servants. But I'm sure that eventually the schools that he was setting up, if admin officers were interested, they could take advantage of it. It's self-awareness, self-development. You know what you want, you know what you want to have, and you go for it. I think government should think seriously about this autonomy for local governments. Make money available to the local governments. We have 2 health centers in local government. You go there, there's nothing. Health centers, there's nothing. Government and the people should ensure that this autonomy for local governments should be put properly in place. And the local government chairman should be kept under serious scrutiny all the time. There is a lot of money going, billions, 300 something billions, going down to them. And in Nigeria, people know how to just chop money into pockets and so on. There has to be a system of checking them. EFCC, I don't know if they can do it, but they're supposed to be the ones to do it. But centrally, the money must be made available to them. The locals will be interested. I get a copy of the allocation month by month, and I'm in touch with the local government personally. There have to be people to monitoring them and saying, you got this so much this month. We have been looking for this so much. We have been looking for this. Do something for us.
How do you see your role? Or do you think that one of the things that you need to be doing is interrogating these issues?
What?
Interrogating. Should your council be interrogating these issues to ensure accountability, transparency?
Well, I don't know about accountability, but I mentioned health just now.
Yes.
There's road linking the farms, security. You have things they call vigilante.
Yes.
It should be like they did at Undo in the Western region, the whole Western region. The security should be supported with infrastructure, between farms, then health. That's how I got into this one. Health. The level of health is abysmal. You have to be well before you can think of doing something.
If you are feeling this kind of gap, so to speak, between those who grew up in the village and
Yes.
you who came to meet them by dint of your own God-given status of age.
Yes.
What would we be saying about the older people and this new AI or internet generation? What are your perspectives? What are the challenges that you see between the older generation and this new generation?
I think you said it while we were sitting down there. One thing I tell these older people, when we sit down at a meeting of nights, or meeting of permanent secretaries, or in our WhatsApp platforms, you are not too old to learn. Never think you are too old to learn. If there's a problem, look for the answer. If you cannot find the answer, don't be afraid to approach AI. It will give you an answer. The more you know what to do, how to look for answers, the more you reduce the gap between you and the younger ones. Because the younger ones, they are going to it. If I have any problem, I call Oluchi. So that if you can talk, I can tell her what I want and she will do it for me and down. Say, how did you do it? And I will say, okay, thank you very much. The older people should not condemn themselves to their age. The older people should keep struggling to be there. That is the answer.
Something was going viral on the net, and there was advice. Don't retire.
Don't retire.
Keep working till the very end.
Yes.
Are you somebody who subscribes to that?
That's what I preach. Don't stop thinking. Keep struggling. Keep yourself into anything you're doing. You don't just send messages.
Put yourself
Into anything you're doing. If there's something we don't be part of the doing.
Our guest has been Sir Jayi Ojeikere, an administrator par excellence in his day. He rose to be the Surveyor General, was a permanent secretary, was the president of the Institution of Surveyors, Zanzibar, and today, a very proud, self-fulfilled joy of MI. He's shared his perspectives about his growing up, about elders, about our culture, about issues of health, of education, about the fact that you don't throw in the towel, you don't give up, you keep living until the day that God says, yes, you can now come over to me. Thank you very much for being a part of our program today. I'm sure that I have, and those who are listening to you now would have learned some valuable insights about your life. And of course, you lived a fulfilling life with your wife for so many years before she left. And by the grace of God, you're still keeping on by the help of your children and grandchildren. I want to thank you very much for being a part of our. That's where we draw the curtain on today's program, 65. Please be free to join us on our various media handles, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Share, like, and tell us what other kinds of topics you want us to handle in the future. Until I come your way again, it's bye for now. To all of our guests, that's our pillow for 65. You say that 65-year-olds and people like us are children. And that's the daughter. Thank you very much. Thank you.